Good morning, everybody, and welcome to 10-4 powered by WOW. My name is Robin Shatzkin, and I am your moderator for today. Very excited, along with my co-host, Juan Vides, which is kind of nice to say that Juan can kind of like chill and relax. Yeah, right. And I am so excited to present not only a professional colleague, but also a friend, Diane Noto, who is going to speak to us about preparedness in all ways. So I think that this is very apropos of what we're going on. Diane, the floor is yours.
Why, wonderful. Thank you so much, Robin, and thank you, Juan, for this opportunity. I'm very excited to be with all of you today, and to the community as they listen to this on a recording, but to talk about money, your money, and sadly to some, debt, and that's what we're going to target on. That actually is a four-letter word to some people, but you know what? So is hope. And that's what I'm hopefully bringing to you, just to make you aware. So a little bit about me. I actually have been in education for 40 years. Wow, talk about making you aging you a little bit, huh, Juan? But I have a bachelor's degree in music education, and I have a master's degree in the humanities, music, art, and literature. But 5 years ago, when I retired from teaching, I actually partnered with a team of financial professionals. And at that point, they had more than 20 years of experience in banking, the credit world, bookkeeping, taxes, and the Federal Reserve. And basically, the two of us together, or I should say, five of us together at that point, really was a good fit, because education truly is so important in understanding your money and what it does for you and what it possibly can, how it can possibly hurt you. Okay, so let me do the sharing thing. There we go. So when you picture your financial well-being, and I need to move our pictures, our faces are in the way. When you picture your financial well-being, what does it look like for you? Lots of money, plenty of money, lots of celebrations, vacations, family, friends, not having a care in the world. Or is it more like this? Is it living paycheck to paycheck, counting to make sure you can make it, make ends meet, running out of money before you run out of month? Causes stress, causes anxiety. A lot of relationships end up in separation or divorce because of money and lack thereof. But you're not alone. Did you know that 80% of Americans have consumer debt? And now consumer debt, not including the mortgages, could be 38,000. Actually, that number, and I've looked at nerdwallet.com, which I absolutely love that website. It's up to 173,869 as of June of 2024, according to the Federal Reserve. That's huge. Nearly 40% of Americans can't even cover a $400 surprise expense. Okay. However, when they need a TV, somehow they figure it out, right? This is what I love. Those between 45 and 54 have the greatest average debt. And then 13% of Americans expect to be in debt for the rest of their lives. We have clients that come to us and say, you know what, I'm going to be sending checks from heaven because it's that bad. Say, no, it doesn't have to be, but it's not your fault. Because so what's happening? Debt's big business. The four top debts are credit cards, 1.1 trillion, car loans, 1 trillion, student loans, 1.7 trillion, and mortgages, 12.1. Actually, that's just been updated. 12.5 is mortgages now, trillion. Huge. That's a lot of debt. But the key to understanding your finances is truly interest and knowing how interest works. That's what's most important. So did you know on average, every household spends 34.5 cents out of every dollar to pay off interest on their debt? That's a little over a third, right? So what could make a difference? In just a very basic form, create a budget, but stick to it. And somehow life happens. So that's pretty hard to do. There's hundreds of self-books out there. And on personal finances, that takes discipline to read and figure it out. How does that work for me? Join a debt or coaching type of group, and we could do that probably through Facebook and some of the other social media sites. And again, that's kind of talking with somebody back and forth, getting some ideas. Or here's my favorite: eat beans and rice, or what we say is to eat ramen noodles, peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, that's not an option, truly. So, but have you heard the term good debt? Good for who? The only time it's a good debt is if you're an investor and you can use that as a business write-off. However, how much can you write off these days? Although I will say that your mortgage, car, that's not bad debt. So there's no really good debt, bad debt. It's just that why pay more interest than you absolutely have to? That's the whole key. Look at these debts, common ones: credit card, furniture loan, mortgages, a motor home, automobile. Pretty common for most people. Actually, the average person has about 6 debts. We work with clients that have a lot more. But which one do you pay first? The one with the highest interest rate? You work with the one with the lowest balance? How do you know? These are the 6 most popular ways to pay off your debt. The minimum payment, majority of people do that. 60% of Americans pay the minimum payment only on all of their debt, not just credit cards. Send an extra payment to principal. That helps as long as you contact the bank, or you can enter it online. That's important. Refinancing or debt consolidation sounds good, but however, there are a lot of hidden fees that people don't realize until they actually go through it. Biweekly payments on your mortgage, some banks don't even allow that any longer, but it does eliminate one payment per year. There's debt snowball, which is pay your smallest balance first, and debt avalanche, which is pay your highest percentage rate. Now, Dave Ramsey is debt snowball, I believe. And actually, there's nothing wrong with that. He's actually the grandfather, of paying off your debt. But each one of these is paying off one debt at a time. Actually, it's more important to use a program that has strategic payoff using complex algorithms and factorial math. Did you know, as I said here, highlighted in yellow, the average person has about 6 debts. And as I said, most of our clients have more. There's 720 ways using those algorithms and factorial math to pay that off. How would you know which one to choose? You ever heard about this? The TIP, or the total interest percentage on your mortgage. If you look into about the 4th page along there, it shows you, yes, you get this 30-year mortgage and you get it at 4.5%, although these days it's more like 7.8%, coming down a little bit. But anyway, when you're looking at that, it tells you how much interest you will pay if you pay that full 30 years. So let's take a look at something like that. Here's one that this is actually a $200,000 loan at 4.5%, and the monthly payment is $1,013. Okay. Well, the first year, and most of you probably already know this is not news, but the first year, only $3,226 went to the principal. $8,934 went to interest. Yes, it's the bank. The bank is in business to make money. That's not a bad thing. Second year, pretty much the same thing, not a whole lot of difference. Okay, let's fast forward up to 20 years. 20 years now, you've paid in $243,000. And guess what? You still owe $97,000 in principal yet. That's 20 years. Here we go. 30 years. After 30 years, you've now paid $365,000 on that $200,000 loan that you borrowed. Interest, $164,813. Wow. Check that out. Look at that interest now. That's a far cry from that 4.5% that you thought, wow, that's awesome. Sadly, it's not as good as it looks. So more people than ever are entering retirement with debt. And this is, as we were talking a little bit earlier, many people never retire. Okay, or they retire and they find something from their career job, and they find something else to supplement their income. Okay, or there's family that depend on them for assistance. I talk with many clients that they moved in with their family and help with expenses because they can't afford to live on their own, which is sad. Can we depend on Social Security? Average check is about $1,700 a month. I like the letter we get. When is it? Around 60 years old, you get a letter and it says this is what you'll make, a certain age, depending on when you take it. This will not be enough to supplement your entire, to supplement what you're earning, or to, that kind of thing for every month. Really? Now a warning? People need to start thinking about this a little bit sooner. And this is something that I think is huge. According to the Social Security Administration, their data at the age of 65, only 5% are financially fit. 5%. Most people are still working, financially struggling, or this is the category you don't want to be in, obviously, is dead. And that's sad but true. So people, face working forever, okay, helping their kids with expenses and college expenses, taking care of aging parents, as I mentioned before, and we do, and helping your kids buy a house, maybe making, put that deposit on there so they don't have to pay, the PMI and so forth, the insurance. So does that prevent you from building your own future? You need to take care of yourself first. So it could involve many tools, okay? Some are simple, some are complicated, but every one of them it needs something. You need to have a desire to change, okay? So what if there was a tool that could put your personal finances on autopilot and get you to your goal? Would you want to know more? If life would be different, how would it be different right now for you? Imagine saving money and being able to use it as happy money or, fun money is what I call it, using on whatever you choose, whatever life brings you. And here we go. Debt's a four-letter word to many, but so is hope. And that's what we're here for. So this is just very quickly, every one of our clients receive a complimentary um, interest savings report because we want to know, is the program going to be the right thing and make the most financial sense for them? So very, very short, quick. All it is we take it, whatever the debts that they happen to have. So this one has a mortgage, 2 loans, and 3 credit cards, totaling $344,400. Okay, total debt payments $2,627.84. We take a look at their monthly income. These are the debt payments here, and then the expenses. However, the client did not have this much in expenses. All it was is we were telling the program, all we want to use is discretionary, $100. That's it, okay? And just a couple of what we call fun facts. This month, they're going to be out of that $2,700 there. They're going to be using $1,500 in interest alone. That's 58% of their money gone. Here's a favorite that they'll have to spend $3.24 for every dollar they pay down in principal. So where's that most of their money going, right? Interest. And then here's one, March of 2034, at this particular client, they would be 53 years old before they paid off half of their debt, and they still owe $172,000. So again, very short, taking that particular amount, here it is, Bank's Way, with the interest, they're going to pay $573,557. That's 67% more than that actual outstanding principal debt. There it is, $229,157 in interest, taking them 29.4 years to pay it all now, not just the mortgage, all of it, the mortgage, the loans, credit cards. And then at the end, what do they have as far as savings go? With our program, instead of $229,157 in interest, they'll pay $85,767. It's a savings of $143,390. Wow, what you could do with that, right? And instead of 29.4 years, 10.5 years, they'll be completely out of debt. Now, that's if nothing changes in life. Life changes, and that's okay because the program can adjust for that. That's 18.9 years back into their lives that they can do more with. And this is the part I love. If they were to take after 10.5 years, that 26.27 and 84 cents and put it into just a bare bones account with 1% return, huge. $750,000. I say to my clients, obviously you're going to buy other things, and that happens, but part of it could be used to invest. And I know a lot of financial advisors that could certainly get you more than 1%. We always joke and say, if they can't get you more than 1%, find a new one. Okay. So what could you do with more years and all those extra years and no debt payments? Take more vacations, build your retirement accounts, buy a vacation home, invest in real estate. Possibilities are endless. Depends on what's important to you. And there's my information there. If anyone would like to reach out and just have a conversation, I'm absolutely happy to do it. Thank you again, Robin and Juan. I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Diane. It's really interesting as we look at numbers. It's one of those wonderful things when you're dealing with people who do what you do and do it so well, is that numbers don't lie, right? The body, and it's really congratulations for putting such a comprehensive program together to show what the numbers really look like. So I'm going to open up the floor to some questions before we go into breakout rooms. If anybody has any specific questions for Diane, highly suggest that you go get a one-on-one with her. Yes. And at all phases, it brings things very much into perspective.
I just want to make a comment more than a question, but a great presentation, by the way. And wow, very clear. And I was like, wow, I was enjoying the whole presentation. So thank you. And, love it. Love the flow. And wow, that was, I was really engaged. Really well done.
Thank you. Great, great. It's
Well done.
important information. It truly is. And
Right.
it is an education. It really is really opening people's eyes, which we do for a lot of our clients.
I
So
love how,
Diane, really quick question for you, because I know that you're talking about that you deal with people who are already in debt. Do you do work with clients who are trying to prevent getting into debt as well, that you're able to do it, or you only really focus on people who need your help to get out of a situation?
Yes, the program actually is to show them to how to, if they have the debt, to get out of debt, but it's also something that money management tool. As a matter of fact, we're working with a client right now in particular, not a ton of debt, but however, really needs something to keep him accountable, to help him know where his money is going and budget it properly because he wants to buy a $600,000 house. I mean, which will put him in debt, but yeah, Rich has his hand like, what? But yeah, I mean, he wants to do that. And that's okay. I mean, that's great because the program will help him pay that off faster as well.
All right, awesome, terrific.
and
Yeah.
real quick, you covered all states, all United States?
Yes, the whole United States and Canada.
Oh, in Canada. Okay, excellent.
Yes.
So where Mark Matthews? Where's Mark? We have a Canadian here, but no. Okay, it's all good.
All right, terrific. So Diane, do you want to pose a question for the breakout rooms?
Okay, for our breakout room, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and I'm thinking about, are you financially fit to retire?
You got it, or you want me to do it?
I got it.
All right.
I got it.